Hello, welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host Jay. I'm here with my co-host Micah
Hey,
and
everybody.
Terrence.
What's up? Yeah.
God damn it.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so we are back. This is episode 278, Nickel Boys. Look, if you have not watched this movie, it is available for rent. It's out there. It was nominated for an Oscar, so you should watch it. This is obviously the 2024 American historical drama film based on the 2019 Pulitzer Prize-winning novel Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. This is directed by Ramel Ross and starring Ethan, I think it's Herisse, or maybe it is pronounced Harris, I don't know, Brandon Wilson, and David Diggs, and Aunjanue Ellis-Taylor, of course. So I'll go first. I hadn't seen this. I don't think any of us had seen this prior to the episode, right? Look, the general premise here is about two young boys who are sent to this sort of like reform school of sorts in Florida that is just notorious for just a bunch of physical abuse of the kids there. Very specifically, the black children in this story. It's a sort of a fictionalized version of a real place. What was it called? Like the historic Dozer School in Florida, which operated for 111 years and was revealed to be highly abusive of the kids there, including killing them. So this takes place it starts out in 1962, but I think the vast majority of the movie is in the late 60s. Look, I thought it was really good. I thought it was tremendous, actually. It has a hook, which like a sort of a gimmicky hook, which is it's shot in the first person, and then it ping pongs between two different people, but in the first person. I can see why people would be like, that's a gimmick, but it puts you really in the seat of all of the bigotry and hateful shit that happened to them, and it makes it feel like you went through it, which I think is actually quite powerful. So, yeah, I don't really have much in the way of complaints about this movie. I thought everybody was really good. It tells a really good story. It has an ending that is pretty interesting. I feel like if you know a little bit about the actors involved, you can kind of see some of it coming. But other than that, yeah, I thought it was great. I'm not surprised David Diggs is involved in this because he kind of involves himself in pretty solid shit all the time. So yeah, it's a definitely recommendation for me. Terrence, your thoughts?
I recognize that this is a good movie, right? It's shot well. The acting is good. The gimmick, the first person perspective, I appreciate, but the movie just didn't click for me. Like It was a slog to get through. It took me 3 days to get through this movie because I was just like, I understand that the subject matter is like a serious, but like there's more than one of these academies, right? These reformatory school for boys. There's probably hundreds of them all over the country that was doing the same exact thing. Oh, it's not a story that's specifically unique to this place. I can appreciate the story that was told. The shit was boring. Like, I know it's not supposed to be like action heavy or anything like that, but to me, I was just like, I don't know if I like this movie.
Is it the subject matter or just the pacing?
I've seen 100 movies with this subject matter. It was the pacing. It's way too long. First of all, it does the cardinal sin for me as far as like indie movies go, where they just linger on shots that don't further the story at all. I'm like, what was the point?
Right.
In the very beginning, the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what the fuck is going on? It looks good.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see
really
that.
Good. But I'm like, then it was in 4:3. Like, nigga, I don't have a 4:3 television. It's 2025. I don't know. A lot of things just irked me about this movie. And like I said, I can acknowledge that it's a good movie. It's just one that I really didn't enjoy that much. I don't think
that's a bad assessment. I mean, I think that's fair. Micah, your thoughts?
I enjoyed it. I do have the same issues that Terrence has. I don't care that it's in 4
it's
by
2 hours
3.
and 19 minutes.
Yeah, like it's
way too
long.
long.
I'll give you that.
It's long. It's long.
And I felt it.
Yeah, and you can exactly, and everything you said about like, okay, well, like I understand like leaning on certain shots and stuff like that, but and I can appreciate the first person perspective, but with that comes like the like lingering shots, right? Like, can you imagine doing a first person review of this podcast and it's just like,
That'd be very weird.
Us looking at a camera for an hour and a half.
That's what we're doing. You're just not filming.
Like, right, but it just it's but we're doing it, but like someone else isn't like seeing it through our eyes. Like it's just kind of odd, But I do get it. And quite frankly, when I was watching, I was like, wow, why don't more movies do this, especially if they're adapted from books? A lot of books are told in the first person. I wonder why people don't do this. And then, an hour and 42 minutes into it, I'm like, oh, this is why they don't do it, because like this movie's not over yet. And it was a little disorienting.
That's funny.
And in the beginning, because you're like, what is going on here, right? And they try their best to kind of establish that like you're seeing this through the first person, but once you realize it and you kind of get used to it,
Bethesda game, nigga.
right. But once you get it and you get used to it, it's it's fine. That's just the style of the movie. The subject matter is sad. Like this movie is really, really sad.
Yeah.
It's not Mississippi Damned, right? Where it's not like I want to blow my brains out, right? But like this is a very sad story with a very sad ending to me. And I can't, it's hard to imagine things like this happening, but they did. And it's hard to imagine. And well, you know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
Well, yeah, like it's not hard to imagine things like this happen. It's hard to imagine that, like, I don't know, that this was only 30, 40 years ago. Like that's the thing that's
difficult for me to 2011.
Right. Like these are horrific conditions that, this is some shit that like, you think that that it's in like the antebellum South. Like, nah, yo, this happened well within if you had an older brother, this happens within his lifetime. You know what I mean? Like we are not that far removed from stuff like this.
Modern day prisons aren't that much better.
Right. And and that's what this is an allegory for, right? And I appreciate the dual protagonists representing like, idealism and cynicism. And I appreciate that, like, hey man, like too much idealism will get you hurt, man. Like like it's a wild thing, because like you don't want to tell young people that they can't be idealistic, but in the real world, right? Like
realism matters.
Right. You gotta be frank with people. And that's what made me really sad, because I've gone through my life, especially in my younger days, trying to be idealistic, and not as idealistic as Elwood, but I used to believe that people were inherently good, and no, no, they're not. They're not. At best, at best, people are self preserving, and they don't,
or self.
I mean, look, self preserving at best.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
They get to self serving, and then they get to evil. Right? Yeah. Like that's the spectrum. Yeah. And yeah, it just is. It's something that you don't see people like tell you, right? Like Anthony Mackie was on the Pivot podcast, and he said something.
I saw this clip. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And he said something. Anthony Mackie, he doesn't have a way with words, I think, because I understood what he was trying to say, but he the way he said it made it sound weird, right? He said something to the effect of success isn't earned, it's given, right? And that if you have to, everybody does as much as they can, and unless someone chooses you to be the one, then you were given that. But it's not. It's and I can appreciate the fact that like he's trying to be real with people, right?
Right.
Like you can't just be like, hey, if you work hard and you study hard, all this stuff is going to happen for you and it's going to be great, right? You could be the president, right? No, for a lot of you, for the vast majority of you, right? That's not going to happen. And I appreciate the fact that he's trying to be a realist, but at the same time, like that's a weird way to phrase it, right? Like,
yeah, you can't tell a generation to not try. Like that's not a really
that's the implication,
message.
Right? That's the implication that like no matter how hard you work, you're never gonna make it. Like unless somebody gives it to you,
right? Unless someone sees the talent in you, yeah. I mean, like I get what he's saying because he's not wrong. He's not 100% wrong, right?
No, right, he's not 100% wrong. Right.
Like take for instance, I've just been shouting this woman's praises for like the last 4 or 5 years. Doechii, for instance, they're calling her an industry plant, right? Like she just came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. She's been an incredibly talented artist for like the last 5 years, but the last 2 months she's won a Grammy. In the last 2 months, now she's like hot shit. But that's because TDE saw something in her. And now they're giving her a super push. And now she's getting all the success in the world that she deserved. But prior to that, she was incredibly talented before all of that. But no one was paying attention. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's how life works.
I mean, like, opportunities come and they go. And that's why, you got to seize opportunity. That's what he's talking about, right? Like he's talking about you got to seize, an opportunity has to present itself. And sometimes you can't make opportunity all the time, right? But you gotta be, success is what? Opportunity plus luck. Like it's
like opportunity plus timing.
Well, yeah, something like that. Okay. Where it's you have to kind of be ready at all times, right? And that's where the preparation comes in, right? But so I get what he was trying to say. It was just a weird way of saying it. Yeah. But I appreciate the fact that he's being real. And that's what this movie is. This movie is showing you two sides of an experience. And you are not, and the idealism is great, but if you're too idealistic without a sense of realism, a sense of groundedness, it'll get you killed, man. And nobody wants that.
Teeth.
Right. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, and into that point on the other end, being cynical all the time is not a particularly good benefit either. Right? Like it doesn't benefit you either. Like, it ain't never gonna work out, it ain't never gonna work out. Well, yeah, life is definitely not gonna work out if you don't try. Yeah, you're right. It won't. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So like on one side you have one character being like, hey, like we can do this, we can fight back and all this other stuff. And the other character is like, yo, be real. Like here's all the stuff that's going on. But in the end, you have the guy who was the more cynical, quote unquote, realist, realize that you got to kind of believe a little bit. You got to have a little bit of that oomph to get you from your realistic, like, okay, maybe we can do this, but you got to believe that shit too. Like there has to be a level of, there has to be like a foot on your back to push you forward, and you have to generate that. But that means you got to believe in yourself, right? You got to believe that you can do these things. A healthy dose of skepticism is a good thing that keeps human beings alive, but not so much that you don't want to leave your stoop. Is basically the argument of the story. But yeah, I thought it was really good. Interestingly enough, the writer of the book, what's his name?
Colson Whitehead.
Yeah, Colson Whitehead. in his Wikipedia, it's interesting. It says, after dealing with slavery in his Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, The Underground Railroad, Whitehead did not want to write another, quote, another heavy book. However, he felt the election of Donald Trump compelled him to do so. Whitehead deliberately narrowed the scope of the book and grounded it for the sake of realism, choosing not to include the speculative or fantastic elements of his other novels, Zone 1 or The Underground Railroad. Incidentally, Zone 1 is a movie, a post-apocalyptic book where the United States is ravaged by zombies. Okay? Like, what a wild difference in stories. That, The Underground Railroad, and Nickel Boys. Okay, cool. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm happy to see, especially black writers and black artists, saying, like, meeting the moment. Like, you can't write fluff shit, like, all the time right now. You got to deal with some real shit because there's real shit going on outside. So I appreciate that. All right, but let's get into the actual movie itself. So the film opens up in 1962 in Jim Crow era Tallahassee, Florida, which feels like that's just Tallahassee, Florida all the time.
Yeah, y'all ever been to Tallahassee? It is.
Like, I don't even know where Tallahassee is.
That's north.
It's in the Panhandle, near, like close to southern Georgia. Like, it's not.
Yeah,
yeah, you don't want to go there.
No thanks. And so this is where we first get our introduction to the sort of the first person perspective, and you see Elwood, who is the main character here, who we're seeing everything through his eyes. You see Elwood sitting in class, and his teacher apparently is a freedom rider, and his teacher has like a big gash over his eye because he was hit by like a white man who hit him with like a tire iron or some shit like that. He opens the class with the first order of business in my class will be to strike out at the latest epithets of white youth. I was like, God damn, like this is a hell of a start to a class. Good for you. I like it. And Elwood is actually like has drawn a cartoon of a man being hung in his textbook, which was really fucked up and disturbing. But he basically all of this is kind of like establishing, and this is that like first 10 minutes that Terrence is talking about. That's a little like I also was like, okay, what are we doing? Like, what is the actual narrative of the story? But it's all establishing that Elwood was just kind of this nice kid who never did anything wrong, grew up, in 1960s Florida, reads comic books. I think he's reading The Silver Surfer. Like he's got a good relationship with his mom. He's just a good kid. And then he's offered a chance to go to a technical school by his teacher that's like free, and so he'd be able to take classes and like kind of move forward in life. Then we see a scene of him and some other black kid getting pulled over by the cops and having this white man like poke at them with a cane. I guess he's accusing them of stealing or doing something, and he's just kind of treating them like they're not human beings. And that's where the like first person perspective to me starts to feel very important, right? Like, oh, okay, like you're seeing the way this like racist old white man is treating them from their perspective, not just third person like across the street type of shit. And the old white man seems to get a little bit of joy out of treating these young black kids like garbage. Like, he kind of gives a little bit of a smirk as he kind of walks off. And the cops let him go. So who knows why he had him pulled over.
This is 1962.
Yeah. So,
Like
fucking pick your poison. Right. At a certain point,
right,
Elwood
treated them like they won an auction block, like,
yeah,
God damn,
yeah, or the NFL Combine. Anyway, I mean, what do you guys think that is? This Negro's got some thick thighs. I bet he can run fast. Like, what the fuck do you think that is? They just pay more money. Sorry. They just got white boys for sale now. That's the difference. So then he joins some sort of, I'm not sure what the name is, but it's some sort of organization. They're like protesting and doing like kind of like counter sit-ins and that type of stuff. So he's involved in that. kind of encouraged by his mother, or excuse me, his grandmother, played by Aunjanue Ellis-Taylor, who is just fantastic in everything. I mean, I don't have any more things to say about her performance. It's always great. She's just really, really good in everything. So then he's off and he's kind of like doing this thing, and he's out getting ready to go to this technical college, and he's kind of just walking, I guess, hitchhiking. And this guy picks him up, and this black dude picks him up, and he's got this like nice car. He's got the conked out hair, all this shit. And he picks him up, and they get pulled over because this dude definitely stole this car. And so he also gets arrested. And that is the impetus at 20 minutes to send him off to the rest of his life, which is fucked up because he's just in the stolen car. So even though he got picked up, it doesn't matter. By the way, that's what happens in reality in 2025. If you're in a stolen car and you didn't know, you also go into jail. Be careful with the type of friends you have. I remember my mom told me that, like, don't hang out with so-and-so because them niggas ain't going nowhere. And then they got arrested for stealing cars. I was like, you're right. Got it. Like, fuck that. I didn't have to worry about Micah stealing a old Geo Storm. That was his car.
Yeah. Who the fuck would want that?
Right. He could barely fit it. So then he's sent off to Nickel Academy. And this is where things just kind of start going fucking left. They do an interesting thing where they play clips of the Defiant Ones, which is starring Sidney Poitier and Tony Curtis, where they were convicts who escape, but they were chained to each other, white man, black man, which is maybe a movie we should do at some point. It's pretty classic.
Y'all didn't do that movie?
No, the Defiant.
No, I think we did Fled.
The fuck? Fled, nigga.
No, the fuck we did not. Is that the nigga version of the Defiant Ones? Who was the dude in that
remember that movie?
Yes.
Lawrence Fishburne was in that movie. Lawrence Fishburne and one of the Baldwins was in that movie.
Am I thinking of the same movie? No, I'm not thinking of the same movie. I'm thinking of what's the comedy about, like, the dude who there's like a black dude who like escaped.
You did do the fucking Defiant Ones. I just looked it up. Y'all don't remember? I wasn't on it.
Oh, we did. You're right. Like, what the fuck? What was that like?
I was like, didn't y'all do it? It was 2 years. It was 3 years ago. January 27th, 2022.
Yeah, all right. We can.
I might have to go back and listen to it.
Yeah. It'll be like it was brand new. Stop doing that. For the love of God. So they play a clip from a movie that we obviously remembered, and
right, like, what
that's so funny. That's right. They ended up in that like shit town. That's right. I remember now. But as he's driving, and it kind of cuts to that, and then it cuts back into the movie. As they're driving up to Nickel Academy, he's in the car with like two white boys, and they're also kids that are not, they're disciplinary,
juvenile delinquents,
right?
And but they're let off at the big house. They get out, they probably get a cool glass of lemonade, right?
It's a mint julep, Jay. They're in the South.
That's true. You're right. And so, they get let off at the big house, and then of course they drive his black ass over to like the worst part of the fucking place. And these
slave quarters.
Yeah. Again, this is 65, 67, some shit like that. And we're still dealing with the exact same setup as plantation slavery. I find that to be deeply unsurprising. And I know everyone loves to say there's racism all over the country. And there's different types of racism in the South. It's just different. Because they really trying to hold on to the exact same shit they always used to do. I mean, again, I'm not saying that these type of fucking shitty places didn't happen in the North. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this being in Florida is not a particular surprise to me. Even if it was open now, I wouldn't be surprised. The entire state is garbage. So so you start to get this understanding that this is just it's not even like a prison. It's a plantation. Like that's just quite literally. They just work these young kids damn near to death, sometimes to death, and but they have the chance of getting out, which feels like bullshit, and it feels like a thing you're just dangling in front of them that is a complete lie.
Well, yeah, like Terrence alluded to earlier with the, prison allegory, like they don't get out until they're 18. Like they're not getting out for good behavior or whatever, like because they get paid to keep them there and, put them to work, right? Just like real prisons. You get all these prisoners to do this forced labor, and the prison profits from that.
Yeah. Which is why for-profit prisons should be illegal, in my opinion. I don't understand how anybody can justify it. Your business model is destroying people's lives. Yeah, let's just make more of them. Great, cool, great idea. So from there we meet. I forget this one white dude's name. I've seen him in a number of movies. I forget his character's name, but he's a piece of shit in this movie. That's all you need to know.
Harper?
Sure.
No, it's Hamish. Which one? The cop.
The dude who's like the
Hamish Linklater.
Yes, that is. Isn't that his real name? Right. That's fucking Batman.
That's Batman.
Yeah, that's Batman. Batman's
Just
a piece of shit in this movie.
Yeah, which is wild to say, but like he did kind of nail that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it is
he did, man. I had to eat. I had to eat Jim Crow because he was real good.
Yeah,
as Batman.
Who the fuck knew?
Very good.
Who are you gonna pick? I don't know. The guy Hamish. Get the fuck out of here. That guy sucks. No, it turns out he's really good. Yeah. So he basically breaks down that there are 4 different levels that you can become at this school. You start as a grub. That's great. So dehumanizing. Then you can become an explorer, a pioneer, and then finally an ace. Once you hit ace, then they let you go, and you can go back with your family if your family will have you. Is what he said.
Have you?
Yeah. They want their kids back. Like, I know you don't think black people are human beings. I got it. I wanted to punch his mustache off his face. So yeah, he's really a garbage person. That becomes far more evident later on. But you could fashion a guest here as well. So before we go on, let's take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back and then sort of talk about the everything else that these guys are in on a day-to-day life. All right, so then we meet Mr. Was it Blakely? He's the sort of the overseer he's the black overseer for all the black kids, and like I guess he's trying to be kind, but it's mostly
the house nigga.
Yeah, he's mostly like keep your nose clean, stand up straight. If you do good, the white man will be kind to you. Like, okay, buddy, we all know that's not true. Like, let's knock this shit off.
Right. I mean, look, he represents black baby boomers, right? Like, that's every black baby boomer that I have been in contact with are, they may not be like, well, the white man might do something good for you if you do this. Like, no, but they're like, sit up straight. That's your problem. That's your hairstyle.
Well, you also have to realize this takes place in 64, and he's probably in his 60s. So that would mean this motherfucker was born in like 1902. And he dealt with some real severe shit.
Yeah, he did.
He's still alive.
Yeah, the fact that he made it out is right. Fair enough.
I mean, I look, he black. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, he's not doing anything that I recall that is like overtly horrendous.
He wasn't doing anything heinous, right?
Right. He's not Steven.
He knows,
right? It went from Django.
Django, right?
Oh,
but he probably knows what's going on.
Of course,
he can't do anything.
Right. Yeah, he's not a Steven character. Thankfully, they're put in some sort of class where they're taught like math and stuff like that. I mean, it's all of this is under the guise of like it's a reform school. It's not so bad, right? And then there's this sort of slow reveal of the sort of horrendous nature of these people. Like they don't actually really give a fuck about these black children, especially. Then you get to see like the white boys there. They're playing football, and Elwood is like, oh, cool, we get to play football. And they're like, they get to play football. You don't get to play a goddamn thing. Get the fuck out of here. And then they got like a half Mexican kid, and they're trying to decide where he goes. Does he get to go with the niggas, or does he get to stay with the white people? Maybe half the time, like on daylight savings time, he can hang with white people. I don't know.
That's how racism works, yo. That's how racism works. If you just look right enough, you know, like why are you talking funny?
Yeah,
like that's all right. Help me, black people. Trump is doing this to us. You got to help us. All right.
No,
okay. The man, look,
who you vote for?
Right. Who you vote for? Right. Because
Yeah.
as much as I think Morgan Freeman's kind of a not so good guy, he did say one of the most famous lines in Black history: "I ain't got to do nothing but stay black and die."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Like, if you voted for Trump, don't come calling to me. They're deporting my cousin. Sayonara.
Via con Dios.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I don't care.
Like, if you're a Latin person and you didn't vote for this shit, yeah, we can stand together. Absolutely, no problem. You voted for it? Oh, hell no. I don't give a fuck about you. Get out. Bye. I'll see you down here when you come back. Like, I don't give a shit. Nah, fuck that. We're not your friends. But so like we hear like I guess the white guys at the camp are kind of like howling outside and saying something about ice cream or whatever. I didn't really understand the scene at all. Like it was just very weird to me. I thought maybe they were going to come in and like try to fight the black kids or some shit. That did not materialize. Then we see a scene of them all like rushing to take a shower. They have like one piece of soap between all the boys, which is
and one faucet.
Yeah.
God damn.
Like, all right. Seems unbelievably fucked up. So then we finally see Elwood sits down at lunch. And he sits across from this one guy. I forget. John Turner? Is that his name?
Turner.
Or just Turner, right?
Check, I think.
And he sits across from Turner, and he's asking him, like, oh, where are you from? And he's like the first person who's like really friendly to him. And this is the point in the movie where it ping-pongs between their perspectives. Because at first I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, a copy of the movie.
Yeah, said it a couple times during this movie. Like, what's happening?
Yeah,
right now?
it was weird because, like, at first it's Elwood's perspective, right? And you get the scene, and you know, hey, I'm Turner. This is Chicken Pete and Balrog or whatever, right? and then you see a shot of someone who we assume is Elwood sitting in a train car. And you see the passage of time, right? Like it's like, okay, well, I guess, some time is quite a bit of time has passed, right? Like I guess that's what this scene represents. And then it comes back to the same scene, but with Turner's perspective. And it's like,
yeah,
all right, well, yeah, why'd you have that train car shot of just time passing? It's little stuff like that like, well, I understand you need a break to switch between the two perspectives, but
what the fuck did it mean?
Well, it's about the end of the movie. Like that's a foreshadowing of the end of the movie. Like that happens at the end.
Yeah, but like, okay, that was right, really weird to intercut it.
Right, I feel like there could have been a different thing to intercut or like anything, right? But why he chose that particular thing, I don't know. I mean, it's just sort of artistic license. But yeah, because I was like, okay, why is he saying the same thing to this kid that we just heard him say before? And I was like, oh, okay, I got it. Because I would just assume we never were going to see what Elwood looked like until maybe the very end of the movie.
Right, and when I saw the passage of time, I'm like, oh, okay, well, we're still Elwood, and a new kid came in,
That's actually another thought I had too. Yeah.
And then the new kid is telling him, basically giving him the same spiel that what's his name? Okay.
Yeah, but
I didn't get that. I was just like, okay, so we flipped to him. But what the fuck was the train car for? But it doesn't reveal itself. Like you said, it don't reveal itself to the end. So it's kind of like, well, all right. Okay, whatever. Sure.
Right. And you know what? Actually, I do. Okay, I'm going to spoil the end. Okay, I do actually get it. Right? But you the only way to get it is to have seen the entire movie and then look back.
Seen the movie, right.
Right. So in the end, Turner takes on the identity of Elwood later on. The passage of time, it's not, I mean, it is the passage of time on the train, but it is him transitioning into this other character. Like that's the reason for putting that scene there. You know what I mean? Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you would not understand that unless you've seen the entire movie, know what the ending is, and then go back, all right, I got it. Like it movies like that, when movies do things like that, it's clever, but it's not as clever as you think because it kind of requires a second viewing. And so they're just things that you miss if you've never seen the movie again. You know, if you just watch it and go, all right, on with my day. So that it makes sense.
And this is not a movie. This is not like a repeat viewing movie.
Oh, I just watch it every Saturday. just break on this fucking.
It's not a movie that you're like, you need to watch this, and I'll watch it with you. I'm not gonna do that. No.
Yeah, I may watch this with my wife.
Being fucking sad again. The hell.
Right. But yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that
I think I'm watching this again because I don't like feeling sad when I watch movies because like I'm a punk bitch. But the only way I'll watch this again is with my children. And you know, when both of them are old enough to get it, right? I ain't watching it a third time. Right.
Yeah, wow. You're really trying to stretch out the age, you know?
For like 20 years from now.
Right, your son is 2 years old. Not even going to have streaming.
So basically what you're saying is you're not going to ever watch this movie because you're probably going to forget it exists.
I will forget this movie.
Yeah, because you'll have Alzheimer's by then. You'll be 65 fucking years old.
Yeah. Look, if you want kids, don't have a baby at 41 if you can help it.
Goddamn glutton for punishment. Good. Yeah, I was smart. 39. Just under the mark. Real bright.
Yeah, well, I did both. So it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, how your knees, buddy? Tired?
Yeah.
I'm saying it as if my kid is fucking 18. I'm like chilling. No, she's fucking 5.
It's going to be past my bedtime in about 45 minutes, so we need to get going.
All right. So from there, we get the transition, and now we're in Turner's perspective. And I guess it kind of jumps back, and they're showing him being introduced to, like, picking oranges and shit like that. Look, one of the most disturbing things about this fucking scene that really bothers the shit out of me is the one kid is like 5 years old.
He's 3. Like, just carrying a basket. I'm like, what did he do to get himself here? Because it doesn't seem like there was any possible thing he could have done to be at this fucking school. Like, this is insane.
But that's just how they treated black children. You know, like they were all criminals or whatever. I do find it funny. Like they show this little boy. This kid's got a fucking perfect lineup. Like it's like 1964. This shit is like fucking crisp as fuck.
Yeah, look, if you're gonna put my child in there, he's gonna look fresh to death.
They're like, but that doesn't match the time. He got a lineup. Shut the fuck up. They had bottles back then. They have protractors and shit. That's how they do it, right? So yeah, they have all these. Again, these are young teenage black boys picking oranges out in the Tallahassee, Florida fucking sun, which is insane, right? So then at one point, Elwood tries to help a kid who is getting beaten up, or was this Elwood? Yeah, this was Elwood. He goes to help somebody and he gets his lights fucking punched out by these other kids, and it's like, yeah, fucking welcome to the Nickel Academy. And all these kids are kind of giving him a hard time. Kids are laughing at him after he got fucking beat up. So life is just really fucking hard for Elwood. It really is. But because the boys were fighting, they get disciplined. And this is this is when you really find out just how horrendous shit is. They're taken out in the middle of the night to the shack where White House, yeah.
It's called. I think that's what they call it.
Great. Real classy. So they're brought to this place and they're basically whipped. They're made to put their hands on some sort of fucking thing that they're holding in this room, and they whip them. Again, this is the 1960s, not the 1860s.
The one thing that I did appreciate about the movie is, like, as he's walking up these steps, like, there's several different scenes in the movie where, like, some foul shit is about to happen, and the score of the movie sounds like a horror movie because essentially it is
the entire time.
Yeah, sounds like something from Silent Hill. Like it was really unnerving. So I give him credit for that because this is super fucked up.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You feel very uncomfortable.
I did. It succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It is quite a real thing. Like the soundtrack or the score, as you said, is just really eerie the entire time. Like yeah. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be around any of this shit. Yeah. I mean, they show the character has a Bible as he's taking him off to whip him. These are young boys. I mean, they're what? 13, 14 years old. And
spare the rod, spoil the child. That's what I was told.
Just fucking insane.
Religion.
Yeah, the same religion they used to justify slavery. Real cool. I know that's not a thing people like to hear, but that's reality. Like, it just is. And then we see an older Elwood, like in the modern time, researching this place and like finding photos and being very saddened about what he's, remembering and that sort of thing. And if you have never watched a movie before, you might not have known that was Daveed Diggs, but I knew immediately. The second he talks,
I didn't know he was in the movie.
I didn't either. But I don't know if it's in this scene that he talks, but the second he talked in the movie, I was like, yeah, no, that's clear. That's who it is. His voice is just very specific. We see Elwood, like back in the 1960s, wake up in sort of like in the infirmary type of thing after he's been whipped and all this other stuff. I failed to mention when the boys are all taking a shower, you can see whip marks on the back of some of the boys in the shower, which I was like, wow, that's fucking horrendous. When did that happen? And then soon after that scene, you go, oh, okay. Got it. Aunjanue Ellis-Taylor comes to the Nickel Academy trying to see Elwood, but they will not let his grandmother see him. She's told that he's sick, which is, he's in the infirmary, but I don't think they'd let her see him even if he wasn't. She's trying something to sort of get some connection to him and want to see him, make sure he's okay. But she finds this young black kid who's, walking on the campus, and she's like, look, do you know him? Can you give him?
That's Turner.
Oh, that's right. Because it's from his perspective. And she gives him something to give to Elwood, and she gives him a hug. And she's like, because I can't hug my grandson, but you'll have to do. And, his hugs are so weak because I don't think they just don't know how to interact with people. Like, I don't think it's about physical weakness. I just think it's just emotionally, they just don't know how to connect anymore because they've just been treated like less than human, basically. So it's a pretty pivotal moment, I think, because here you have this woman trying to reconnect, and you also had Turner saying, like, nobody's going to come and save you. Nobody gives a shit about you outside and everything else. Like, the cynicism versus the sort of the optimists. We're dreaming.
Yeah, this conversation is where, the themes of the movie really kind of clicked for me. This is when I started getting, a little more invested in the movie. Because, we're kind of well past the gimmick. We kind of get used to it. And these type of conversations with one's self are kind of what make the movie for me.
So from there, I'm going to speed up a little bit. We see Turner going to visit Elwood in the infirmary. He like ate some soap to make himself like fake sick or whatever, just so he could get a couple days off from working. Sounds pretty smart. Sounds like a thing I would do. I can be lazy.
Or just work. What the fuck?
Nah, fuck that. In Florida? All right. You get down there and pick some fucking oranges. I guarantee you fake an illness after a while. You'd be tired. It's Florida, so they find a gecko at one point, tries to sell him insurance.
Did he ever give him the paper?
No. He didn't.
He never gives him the fucking he didn't give him the fucking letter or whatever.
No, they say he says it later on in the movie. He's like, man, I'm really so I guess I should have gave you those papers. And Elwood is like, don't matter now. the lawyer is gone.
Right. At one point we see they got the boys, digging ditches, and it looks like a grave. I don't know if it's not necessarily said, but I don't know. It feels like a grave to me. Then during class, I literally thought this was a dream sequence. During class, there's a fucking alligator or whatever the fuck y'all have in Florida just roaming around the class, and these black kids are just standing on chairs so they don't get bit. What kind of fucking hillbilly ass shit is going on in that state? It is fucking insane.
And whose perspective were we looking at at this point? Was it Turner or was it Elwood? Because someone was looking in the classroom.
I want to
the
say
alligator kind of sitting there.
Yeah, I want to say it's probably Turner's perspective, but I don't know. Well, the very next scene, the character's looking at his hands, and it's Elwood. Yeah, because it's darker. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of just a fucking alligator in the classroom. Like I was on a tour the other day, and they're like, "Oh, there's little crocodiles in the water." I was like, or no, my wife said, "Hey, are there alligators in this water?" And the guy was like, "No, there's crocodiles, but they're little." I was like, "For you, somehow you think those things are different." I'm not a scientist.
I don't know
alligator
the
and a crocodile
and
is the fucking same to me. Their head shape is different. Like, do it got teeth? Then it bite? Like, the fuck, yo? Like, get out of here. This is a difference without a distinction. So they start doing like boxing training. Like they're having fun teaching the kids boxing, or the kids are having fun learning boxing. And Turner at one point tries to hook up Elwood with like this cush job with this one white boy that works there, and they basically go around and just like sell shit. Like they take stuff from the black kids and they just sell shit so they can make some money and chill out and hang out in the truck and shit like that. And so he does that with them, but he doesn't like it because he's like, "Yo, this is kind of like fucked up and unethical." Because he's just a good kid and, he's an idealist. I didn't trust this white boy the second I saw his face. I just didn't. I didn't. In these kind of movies, I'm sorry. Trust is not earned. I need third party verification. I do not trust you. Hey, it's the 1960s. I can be your friend. No.
Disagree.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Highly unlikely.
Yeah.
I don't trust no white people. No.
Yeah.
Before 2020. Fuck it. I don't know.
No, that's a fair. No, I mean, in 2025, I'm not so sure. Yeah, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Like, who we got for president? Yeah, I don't trust none of you motherfuckers. Sorry.
What color hat?
You're already at a deficit to me. You got to prove to me.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you're already starting below.
You don't get the benefit of the doubt.
A new white person? No, I don't really like. This is going to sound weird, but also make totally perfect sense. I don't think I plan on making new white friends. I think all the white friends I have, no new friends, no new friends. I think I've hit the line. Like, if you were in before the buzzer of the election, you're good. Like, buzzer beater, like that's it. Like, no. I feel like you got to work. You got to work twice as hard to get half as much of my respect going forward. Like, I'm sorry, dude. No, I got a couple white people I fuck with, no problem. Y'all made it in under the buzzer. I like y'all. New ones? No.
I don't trust you.
No,
I'd rather not interact with you at all.
No.
I haven't interacted with a white person that I didn't have to interact with in a very long time. I'm just telling you that right now. Well, you live in Mexico, nigga, so you probably don't have any outside.
No, there's white people here. There's white.
I mean,
look, there's white. Just
like white Mexicans.
Yes.
Or are they like white Americans who moved down?
Both.
I'm talking about Asian folks.
I mean, Spain is in Europe. Okay, like, now they say they're white. Like, not me. Like, oh, I was born in Mexico. Okay, and all of your lineage is from where? Spain. All right, then you're white. Get the fuck out. Yeah, trust me. The brown ones, they're very easily identifiable. They tend to be the cooler ones, honestly. So at this point, I didn't like that one guy. He seemed like a dick. They're all hanging out, chilling in, like, I guess, some sort of dormitory. And like everything is kind of feeling okay. I think they got air conditioning, or was that a light? Like, shit's doing all right. They got the Latin dude. He's in there with them. They get Elwood and Turner. They get the job to like do some painting and helping out some white lady that I guess lives near the campus or on the campus. I have no idea.
That's Spencer. That's Spencer's wife.
Oh, that's Batman's wife?
Yeah, that's Batman's wife, which is the most, which makes this Spencer is Hamish Linklater.
I thought that was the I thought that was a dude that was riding around picking up money and shit for people.
No,
that guy.
All right.
Yeah, that's Hamish Linklater's character's wife. Which makes this the most unbelievable part of this movie. Hey boys, you want this? You want to use my pool? No.
Hell no, dude.
No.
No, thank you.
Take your trousers off. Bitch, are you out of your fucking...
I was like,
your husband just literally whipped niggas 7 minutes ago in the movie. Absolutely not. You know what? I'm putting on 2 pairs of jeans. Get the fuck out of here. No. Hell no. You know, she's portrayed as like, I'm just a white woman. I'm a nice little white lady. I'm just a nice white lady. No big deal. Do not trust. Sorry. There are flashing lights going off in my fucking head. Absolutely not. But this is this scene to me is very it's telling and it's insidious, right? Like, she doesn't actually do anything wrong. In fairness, she really doesn't. But what is insidious?
Unbelievable to me.
100% agree. I was like, and where's the part where you're like, he raped me? Like, where's that part coming? Because like it wouldn't be a shock, right? But here's what's insidious about this scene. Many young black boys were killed during these times, and Jim Crow and before. Many were killed, young boys very specifically, because they fell victim to being kids, right? They're kids. Even though they're kids in this fucked up situation, someone's like, hey, go enjoy the pool, have fun. They're fucking kids. Of course. Like, it's hot. I'm in fucking Tallahassee, Florida. If somebody's like, you can use my pool? Fuck yeah, this sounds awesome. And they paid prices for that, right? They were brutalized. They were whipped. They were, they were killed. You know, it's like, to be like, that's how insidious whiteness can be in those moments, is that you take advantage of young boys' naivete, right? Like, they're just kids. So they don't realize the like deeper implications and the danger that they in fact put themselves in. And even, by the way, that she put them in. She put them in a terrible fucking position because she's like, oh, just have fun. Luckily, nothing happened. But if Hamish had come to the house at that time, he would have shot both of them. But she's just like, oh, everything's fine. I'm just a kind white lady. Like, cool. And reality exists.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just this sort of insidiousness of just hurting young kids because they make the mistake of forgetting they live in the world, but they are still young. It's just awful. We see somebody being dragged off at one point while they're like sort of in a building, which is kind of fucked up. I don't even understand what the fuck happened.
Yeah, again, there was a lot of interspersed cuts of what I'm like, did that happen? Was this in the school or was this like something else?
No, I mean, I think it was in the school. I think it was just, I mean, I think they were just kind of showing like, these are just fucked up shit that happened. Like sometimes, like we know a couple of the kids, but there are plenty of other kids that are like, shit just happened. Like it's just commonplace. At least that's what I got out of it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, because they're intercutting it with what seems like gray footages of like a crevasse, right? Like what could be considered like a grave. There's
a mass,
yeah, like it's intercut with like all these shoes there, which to me felt
that
like
invokes the fucking Holocaust.
Right. That's what it invoked in me too. So, yeah. I mean, it also was a Holocaust, right? So, even though white people try like not to admit that, but that's kind of what I got out of it. So I think that imagery was very much purposeful. But then you see like the half Latin kid is like, hey, like everything's cool with you. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he was like, they had him beating up the other kid. I have no idea. So,
we get to a scene where Elwood and Turner are kind of just chilling in a little hiding spot, and in comes Spencer, the name of the superintendent. Some about that name Spencer, or people who have it are just kind of assholes sometimes. The two protagonists over here, Spencer talking to, I think his name is Griff. He is the he looks like that guy. You smoke crack, don't you? He looks like that kid. And he's like a really good boxer, right? And Spencer's like, look, I need you to take a dive in the third, right? Because it's the season of giving, okay? And you know you can beat him, but I need you to take a dive. But just know that you could beat him, and then you just gonna have to live with that. All right? Because it's better to give than receive. So give this white boy the victory, and you take a dive, right?
So you don't receive an ass whooping,
right?
Or worse.
And the night of the fight, because that's what they do here. They have underground boxing matches in reform school,
as you know. Race based.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that was regular ass boxing in the 60s.
Yeah, you're right.
Today.
It still kind of is.
Let's see if this nigger can beat this white boy. Like, all right. The answer is yes, all the time.
So this is interesting. I just noticed this. During the boxing match, the crowds are segregated, and the Spanish guy is sitting with the black people, and one of the white guys comes over and says, "Hey, come on over to our side. Come on over to our side.
Close enough. You're close enough."
And he does. And look, maybe he doesn't know better, or maybe he just wants to be close to whiteness. I don't know. I have a feeling, but I don't know.
There's a lot of
help us, please. No habla es inglés. And you know, the black kid Balrog is kind of whooping up on this dude, and the camera pans over to like, oh, it's the second round, and you know, black dude is whooping up on the white guy, and our two protagonists are like, yo, is he gonna do it, or like what's going on? You know, like he whooping up on that dude, and it was like, don't worry about it. And then the third round comes, and you know, pop, 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 right, and he doesn't take a dive, and it goes to a split. It goes to a decision, and the black dude, you know, won because the black dude, you know, was beating the hell out of, you know, old Tasty Cake over there, and
couple of
and and as soon as the ref stops the bout, because you know the third round ended, he you could see the hangdog expression on Griff, I think is his name, his face. This nigga forgot that he was like, he looks over at Spencer and is like, I thought it was the second round. I didn't know it was over.
Yeah.
And it just kind of breaks my heart, man, because like
they killed
this kid is, yeah, they ended up killing that kid, man. And he's pleading because he knows, like, he's like, I swear, it didn't. It's just another sad moment in this movie for me, man.
It's an incredibly sad situation. It really is. And what it tells me is, I mean, this is not a surprising turn of events. I'm sure shit like this happened all the time. White people can't compete with us fairly. Like when white people are forced to compete with everyone, and I don't even just mean black people, but like when white men are forced to compete with everyone on a level playing field, they get really fucking sad and like, we have to change the rules so we don't have to do this anymore. That's what happens. Like that's what you're seeing right now in the country. They hate actual competition because what they find out is there's a whole lot of people who kick the shit out of you in most things. Yeah. Boxing.
Which is why when they find like a white athlete who's like really good, like exceptionally good,
yeah,
they latch on to them no matter what their, you know, political leanings are. Like with Caitlin Clark, right? Caitlin Clark is a phenom in women's basketball, and boy, she is the great white hope for a ton of white people, and white people that don't, I think, align with her politically.
Well, but until she started being like, until she started coming out like, no, I owe my entire career to the great black women in the WNBA. They're like, God damn it, stop saying that. Yeah,
you turned your back on your own kind. Like, what the fuck?
What are you talking about? She's like,
I just want to hoop. Like, what are you talking about?
Give a fuck. I just want them to lower the rim so I can dunk, because which is what they should do. Just saying they should lower the rim. But yeah, like it's really weird. But I truly believe that like white men get really butthurt about having to compete on fair terms with everybody. They don't like it because they've never had to. The second that shit happened in baseball, what happened? They got their asses handed to them. They hated it. Like, get Jackie Robinson the fuck out of here. Like, they hated that shit. Can you imagine if they had to play Major League Baseball against Negro League baseball players at their height? They waited till they were like
smoked.
They got fucking destroyed, dude. And then what happened? Black people started kind of pulling out of baseball. It's just not we dominated a lot of like the top tier shit in baseball for a long time, right? Like all the fucking
when they integrated,
Dominicans and fucking Cubans came in.
So, when they integrated Negro League stats into Major League Baseball, it upended everybody.
They got so
what is this? This doesn't even make any kind of sense. What? Oh,
how? How? Right. And this is fucking 1492 these numbers are coming from, right? Like, but that's the thing is they get really fucking upset. Like, oh, that's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. No, like even the arguments about DEI are hilarious, right? Like, you're getting a bunch of unqualified people. No, you're just forced to now have to compete with people in actuality. And they fucking hate it. They fucking hate it. And the more they hate it, the more I enjoy it. Like I do. I love it. No, this isn't fair. Well, get good, nigga. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Like, I don't understand how, as a white person, you get on a flight and you see a black pilot. No, well, I guess you, as a white person, you don't realize that black people have it harder. Maybe I don't understand how you don't understand that. This. And you're like, oh, I'm a little afraid. There's a nigga in the cockpit. Can he fly the plane? Did they just give him the job because he was black? Hell no.
Like, what kind of sense does that make? Like, somebody broke that down to me and was like, yo, what kind you think that these companies with these billion-dollar planes and this reputation are going to just hand it over to somebody, just give their plane away to let anybody fly it? Like,
no, let Jamal fly. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, get the fuck out of here. That plane costs like $35 million. No, they're not.
Yeah, and then the person that says that gets an interview with the governor of California because why the fuck would you do that? Anyway, that's a whole different. I told y'all niggas I ain't trust him, yeah. I told y'all I ain't trust him.
Right. Look. Here's the thing.
But anyway,
that's how shameless and how fucking stacked in their benefit it is to be a white man, is that you guys can completely disagree. And the one other guy is saying horrendous shit, and you're like, well, let's just hear him out.
Yeah, let's hear you out. Like, why would you do that?
Why?
No.
Why? Fuck Charlie Kirk. Like, get out of here. I'd push that nigga right into traffic if I was walking by. Get the fuck out of my way. Like, move. But if you're a white
nationalist, he's essentially a Nazi, and this motherfucker. So let's talk about it.
Why?
All right, Stephen L. Marv, relax. Yeah, I don't get.
That's a deep cut.
Very deep cut.
That's a deep local cut. You know, goodness gracious.
Goddamn right. Science. But yeah, that's must be nice to be white, man.
Yeah,
must be real nice.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine a black candidate being like, I'm going to sit down with the head of the Black Israelites and just have a chat. It'd be like, okay, get the fuck out of here forever. Like, so where did you get your Wonder Woman bracelet from? Oh, Target. Interesting. So it's like the idea of what it is, like that idea of having to fight on the same playing field. It doesn't exist. And it honestly never has. I saw someone say, we need to go back to a meritocracy. America's never been a meritocracy. And it never has. You don't know what a meritocracy is. That's what they keep saying.
That's what they keep saying. That's what Trump and them keep saying. It's got to be a meritocracy, but you fire the black 4-star general and put some dickhead that doesn't know anything about the military in place.
Right. He's a drunk.
In his stead. Like, why did you pick him? Because he's white. No one in any position of power knows what the fuck they're doing. Why the fuck did Linda McMahon take the position of head of Sahara? Why did she take the job? That means she's a piece of shit. Because you don't know shit about the job. You just took it because I'm rich. Whatever. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
I think Linda McMahon might be. I think Linda McMahon might be worse than Vince.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but look.
She's the woman behind the curtain type of thing. Yeah.
What you just said is my issue with white women. Because, like, at least with a white man, they're smart or they're dumb enough to be like, well, fuck you, nigga, to my face. Right? Like, I can, on some weird level, as a man, I can respect it, right? Because it's direct. Yeah. Fuck you back, right?
Right.
But
you can at least see it coming.
I can see it coming, right? And with white women, they tend to try and play both sides, and especially, and it's on our side too, man. It's on our side too. If a black woman comes up and says, "Hey, women, we need to come together. I need y'all." I voted for Trump. Like, what the fuck? Like, but the second that and look, it's not just them, right? We were alluding to it earlier, but I saw an article on the Root where Latin folks, probably who voted for Trump.
No, these are MAGA. These are MAGA Latin folks.
Yeah, now they're like, they're like, guys, we got to come together and we got to get the black people to come help us. You know why? You know why they think that? Because that's all that has been done to us in this country. Like, we know how to endure. That's why white people are flipping the fuck out, because they don't know how to endure. That's why one that we know very well crashes out from time to time, and Terrence has to come on and say, we're going to be all right, man. We're going to be all right.
Yeah.
We're going to endure because we know how to.
We've had to. We've had to.
Yeah.
And that has long been my thought as well. Like, look, I don't think it's going to be easy for black folks at all.
It's going to fucking suck.
It's going to fucking suck.
Yeah, man.
But white people have never, like, unless you talk about white people during the Great Depression, right? Unless you're talking about white people during the Great Depression, they were like, yo, we're literally eating beans out of a fucking can. This shit is hard. Unless you're talking about those white people, they've been through some shit. Modern white people, they've never had to suffer like this. They don't, and by the way, you only 7 weeks in, baby. Like, where you ain't even hit a year yet. Wait till they strip it.
You haven't hit 2 months yet.
Right. You ain't hit 2 fucking months yet. Wait till they strip motherfuckers of their Social Security. Then what are you going to do? Right? These are things that were never available to us.
Put their guns to good use. That's all I'm saying.
Get to work.
Get to using the second part of the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
You create that well-regulated militia to take on the government that's fucking being incredibly tyrannical against you. But all right, oh, you mad pussy. Which one is it? You gonna do what you're supposed to do, or you wild pussy? It's either one or the other. I'm not a Second Amendment nut. I don't have a gun.
Right.
That's not my ministry. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas got a bunch of guns.
Yeah, but that's your whole fucking personality. Now do it.
Yeah.
Like, well, if we could get black people out front, no, y'all out front. Y'all did this. You go fix it. So yeah, I mean, but that to me is like that idea of that. That's why the scene with the white woman at the pool is so fucking scary, because I'm like, when's the shoe gonna drop? And thankfully it didn't, which I appreciated, I guess. But all of us, there's no way, and it's not like the three of us are watching together, but I guarantee we all had the same thought, like,
I said, yeah, fuck no. Absolutely not. Hell no.
When she said take her trousers off, I was like, fuck that. Like, no. And I'm sitting in my office alone watching this.
And then she gets up and leaves. I'm like, where's she about to go?
Right. See, and that's why I was like,
trust this bitch.
Was she like a man?
Like, yeah, like was she offended and then like she gonna go say some shit? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's ingrained in us, yo. It just is.
It is.
No, absolutely not. That shit was crazy. I was like, you really gonna do that? But then again, he's like a kid. Like you said, he's like 16, 17 years old. Don't look it. But he's
right.
He's a kid. Doesn't know any better.
And it's just that sort of insidious way that white people could be, and just taking advantage. Like, yeah, he's a kid. Oh, that nigger knew what he was doing. Like, dude, I'm 14 and you said, I can use your pool. Yes. Ask any white kid, they would have the same reaction. But they never are given, black children especially, are never given.
But I felt like Turner would have known a little better, because he's the most cynical one, right? I mean, I know he's supposed to be a kid, but
yeah, I would have been like, nah, dog. Like,
no thanks, I'm good.
I'm good.
You need y'all seem hot. You need me to paint something?
Like, y'all seem hot.
Yeah, it's very hot.
It's super hot. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and
a glass of water, and I'll be fine.
Yep. And you know what? You sit it over there. You leave. I'll get it. I don't want to be anywhere near you. We're good. Right? So yeah, I just that whole idea of just competing on an equal playing field, I find it just, the more and more I think about it, it's like, just white men especially have never had to. You never had to. So don't talk about a meritocracy. You don't know what a meritocracy is. You don't. Because if we're being honest, Anytime y'all like, hey, we're gonna let in more minorities in colleges. Why are all the Asian kids doing better at school than us?
Yeah, they be smoking you niggas.
Yeah, that's a meritocracy, my nigga. Like, what the
They
fuck?
destroy you.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel like you got to work that hard.
And they do.
Because your fucking father owns a building and the guy on the campus.
Yep.
Whatever. Yeah, it's really fucked up.
Yeah, that.
And then that fucking Asian dude was like, like affirmative action fucked everything up. And now y'all niggas ain't going to college now.
Yep.
They're not accepting you Asian folks in college, you stupid motherfucker. But hey,
black people tried to help, right? We tried to help you.
What do we know?
Yep. The second they're just like, you're being a useful idiot. They're using you. They're lying to you, and they're using you to kick your ass out, and so that you'll attack us. Hey, guess what? Gotcha. It works every time. See, we've already figured this shit out. We've had hundreds of years of this horseshit, this fucking Charlie Brown, I'm going to hold the football and move it at the last minute bullshit. Y'all new to this shit for some fucking reason.
Also, it's not like they haven't been oppressed in this country within their grandparents' lifetime. Like, it just like that's what's
within their lifetime. Remember, Stop Asian Hate? That shit was during COVID. They're like, well, maybe they like us again. They fucking don't. They fucking don't.
Kicking you in the head.
Yeah, beating you in subways and shit. Right. Like Indian folks are like, oh, I didn't realize they didn't like us with these H-1Bs. You're brown. What the fuck are you talking about? You're brown. I'll never forget when all that shit was popping off. Like the WhatsApp group with my wife's family, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with these Indians who are saying this shit? Like, we're brown. Like, of course. Like, yeah, of course they hate you. Duh.
Where's Vivek Ramaswamy, by the way?
They got his ass the fuck out of here.
What is he doing?
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to be working with
they kicked him out real quick with Elon.
They kicked him out before fucking inauguration day because he was like, I think we should have more Indian folks. They have a better culture. And white people were like, wait a minute. And then Elon Musk was like, he's right. They were like, wait a minute. We're mad about this. Like, we didn't like that the white guy also said it, but kicked the Indian guy out. He was like, all right, bet. Yeah. Yeah, we're better. We're better at programming and math than you guys are. But they are, though. But they are. They are. So from there we see Turner and Elwood are just becoming closer and closer friends. Elwood at one point runs across the street over to these white people because he thought he saw Martin Luther King Jr., but it was just a cardboard cutout. They're like, that's very funny to me. But
even Turner was like, you think the Reverend King is sitting here at an opening of a grocery store? My nigga, like, what the fuck is your problem, yo? He bolted over there, yo. Yeah. Like, he
ran in front of a car.
Right.
It's like, surprise. No. I just want to.
The kid.
Just by the way, a rib steak back then was 79 cents a pound. That's a pretty good deal. 79 cents a pound.
It's very upsetting to me.
I bet eggs were
eggs was like 10 cents.
You probably bought the rib steak and they gave you a dozen eggs.
2 dozen. There you go. We got too many eggs. Just get out of here. That's another thing we're all mad at each other for, which makes no sense. It's corporations, you dumb fucks. So yeah, he's like, look, you gotta, basically this is another, like, you gotta stop being a fucking dreamer. All right. Like, ain't nobody coming for you, bro. Like, that's just, that's not how it's gonna work. We gotta save ourselves type of shit. Then we fast forward in time where we see, Elwood, this is obviously Daveed Diggs. He is in a bar and a guy walks up to him and he's one of the other kids from the Nickel Academy. And they're catching up. And look, this guy is giving off a vibe that feels like I just got out of jail type of shit. And it's really uncomfortable. Like, he's not doing anything wrong, but it just at any moment, and maybe this is just my own personal feeling, like I thought like at any moment like they were going to get into a fight. Like it felt really unset. Like he felt like he was unsettled for some reason.
I didn't. I got the feeling, but I didn't get that from it. Right. I didn't get like at any point they're gonna get into a fight. I got exactly what happened. At any point, this nigga's about to ask me for something, and I don't know. No, get away from me. Get away from me.
Now, I didn't know what character this was because again, everything was kind of so convoluted for me. I just went through as we're going through the movie. There's a scene that we actually skipped past. Like they were doing like a little a montage of shit going on. That's the same sequence with the shoes. He was being sexually abused by one of the fucking guards. This is one of the kids that was being sexually abused.
Oh, okay. Because you see the guard walk out.
He was leaning on the rail, and the Hispanic kid was also being sexually abused. In that same scene.
Yeah, because I saw the guard walks out with like his shirt untucked and shit like that.
Yeah, this was the kid that was in that scene. He had the patch in the back of his head, and his hair was kind of fucked up. This is him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that when I first watched. Like
I didn't realize he would. I didn't realize he was being sexually abused. I thought maybe he was like beating them with a belt. But that also makes sense. Yeah.
So he's all fucked up.
Which, yeah, that.
God. Oh, Jesus.
20 years later. Yeah, it's super fucked up, man.
This is fucking sad, man.
Yeah, but he gives off a vibe of just general unease, but that makes sense, right? Like here is this guy who's had his sort of, in a lot of ways, his innocence kind of stripped from him, and he clearly has a drinking problem, but he's still trying to get his life together, and so I guess he's in that scene. He's the kid getting dragged down the hallway into the other part of the hallway to be sexually abused. I guess in that scene.
Maybe that is.
You don't see his face.
Yeah.
So it's fucked up. But yeah, that scene is just really, really uneasy. And he eventually asks, like, because he realizes that Elwood mentions that he has a moving company that he runs, and this guy is like, all right, man, like if you need anything, like, give me a call. I'm trying to look for work and stuff like that, right? But he doesn't have a card on him, and but he does. He takes this number and he writes it on a cocktail napkin or something. And then it sort of fast forwards.
This is the point when I realized that this is the point where I realized that this wasn't Elwood. I didn't know that this guy, that the fast forward into the future, wasn't Elwood until this point, because I'm like, this nigga's too light skinned to be Elwood. Doesn't make any sense for him to be so light skinned. So this is light skinned.
When it was David Diggs,
I didn't really recognize his voice. And I'm like, oh, this is not him. And then I realized, oh, this is not him. That's why this is not a first person perspective. It's behind him. It's a third person because it's not really Elwood. Oh, okay, I get it now. But it took me till this point.
Yeah. And I hadn't thought, until you just said that, I hadn't thought about that's why they don't do the first person perspective.
The first person.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. Because, they're, I'm sure showing that the complexion he is very much on purpose to kind of make you go, well,
yeah, this is the part where this is the part where I think they first showed that he's not, because I'm like, oh, his hands is way too fucking light. And I'm like, I did not pay attention to the movie. I know. I didn't recognize David Diggs' voice. I'm still kind of that it was him. Because it sounded like fucking Elwood to me.
Yeah, and maybe that sort of their tone of voice, like maybe they chose him, like the young actor, for that very reason too. So we see the kids are getting like ice cream and everything else, and Elwood had basically told Turner that he's going to escape, and so Turner's like, you're being a fucking idiot, like don't do that, they will kill you. And so they, like at that point, Elwood is obsessed with like this notion of escaping. He's kind of just like not paying attention. He drops a bucket of nails.
Yeah, he's zoned out.
Yeah, he's just completely zoned out. And he goes to like walk up to like the people running the place and say some shit. But then that one very untrustworthy white guy is like, hey, you need to do what I told you to do. Then everything is like cool, right? He's like, hey, I'm like cool, man. I'm like the guy. I'm the white guy everybody's cool with, right? Like I'll chill with you in a truck, like no big deal. Again, no thanks. I'm good. So then,
at one point, during all this,
so what happened here? Yeah,
so during all this, Elwood has been keeping a diary of all of his plan to try is to expose this place. So he's been keeping a diary of all of the mistreatment that's been going on. And his plan is to somehow get it to the news, right? And I think he says he gives it to Turner because Turner's like, look, I can do it, right? I can slide it into this car over there because these people are coming in from the outside. I can slide this thing in and it'll go outside. They'll take it to the news. And then they'll come and save us, right? I get it. Just give me the diary. And he does, but they turn right back around and say, hey, here's this diary that's just here talking about all the shit that you do to these kids. Here it is. You can have it back, right? And as a result, they probably know Elwood's like handwriting or whatever, right? The Academy pieces it together that Elwood is the dude that is trying to expose them. And we cut to a scene of the Mexican kid. The Mexican kid's talking to Turner, and they're like, yo, they caught Elwood. They got him in the sweat box right now. Yeah. They probably gonna go kill him, man. So you're gonna have to do something. Yeah, you're gonna have to, if you want to save your boy, you gotta go do something, right? So they attempt an escape. And I'm just fast forwarding to the end.
Yeah.
They attempt an escape, and they run away, and they get on bicycles, and they in the middle of the night, and they just start going, right? They just start pedaling as hard as they can, right? And the next day, they are pursued by Nickel Academy in a car, and yeah, this is one of the saddest chase scenes I've ever seen, man. Not sad in the like, not sad in a pathetic sense, but sad in a like, God damn it! Like, you think you're gonna get this happy ending, and here comes the car, and they, from Elwood's perspective, we see Turner cut into like a field, and he's just like, just run, bro. And then we cut to from the other perspective, and we see Elwood being pursued into the field by the car. At one point, Turner's like, zigzag, Elwood, you gotta zigzag. Like, he's not running away from a gator, he's running away from a fucking Oldsmobile, right? Like, he's not.
It don't work.
Right. Like,
I thought they were just gonna hit him with a car.
I did too. But eventually, they get out the car and they shoot Elwood in the back, and he dies. And
just as the way he dies is the way that you meet him too, right? Like, his perspective initially in the movie is him laying on the ground, looking up, and everything else. So it's kind of a full circle.
Yeah. And it's just fucking sad, man, because it's like, God damn it. Like,
and by the way, he was shot by the white boy that we were supposed to trust.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Very important.
Nope. Yeah.
Let's come to shove.
And this is when basically Turner, I guess he decides, I'm going to take on the role of Elwood, because again, at this point, he's running and the camera's behind him. It isn't his point of view anneanymore.
Right.
It's like the camera's behind him.
It's the third person, the tight third person shot that Daveed Diggs is. So if you didn't get it by now, like, this is confirmation. And it's really sad because he goes and he tells Hattie, Aunjanue Ellis-Taylor's character, and Aunjanue Ellis-Taylor is doing what Aunjanue Ellis-Taylor does, is just act the shit out of that scene.
Yeah, she did.
And then the director, Ramel Ross, gets his Spike Lee on and just starts playing a jazz, just a fucking jazz montage. And I appreciated it. And yeah, you see that shot of him in the train car passing time, and it turns out he reached Tallahassee, where he delivered the news to his grandmother. He then moves north, took Elwood's name. He marries Millie. I don't know who that is. Builds a life for himself and tries to honor Elwood's legacy by embracing some of his ideas. And when the government begins investigating the school, Turner decides to testify about his experiences. So
yeah,
it's this is very much a montage. Like, a lot is being said here in these last 5 minutes, but
and I think some of the footage is footage that they made for the movie, and then some of it feels like that might have been footage about the school that it was kind of real life based on.
Yeah, they excavated over like 24 actual unmarked graves for the real fucking school, the Dozier School. They actually in Florida they created a $20 million fund for some of the kids, some of the adults that were abused in these schools. Mm-hmm. They had until the end of 2022 or something like that to put their bid in to get some of that money. I'm like, that's psychological damage that you're never going to be able to get rid of. That money's not going to really help, So
also, why is there a limit on time? Hey, you got to get it in before Wednesday. Fuck off. How about that? Why are you doing that? That's weird. It's a very weird thing to do.
It's Florida, They don't want to get no money to these niggas. And it wasn't just black dudes. It was white, black. It was all. But like the black ones got it worse.
Of
course, because
shocking news. Yeah, I mean the Latin kid in this movie was sexually assaulted, right? So, and I'm sure.
Shout out to the black guy who tips. It's like, our lives are on all Madden all the time.
Yeah, it's not
we come into this fucking funny, man.
Nightmare mode every fucking time.
It is, man. Yeah, fucking Dante must die mode. Jesus Christ, one hit kills. Come on. Damn.
Can we get a break?
Yeah, break.
Oh yeah. Work harder. So yeah, it's Nickel Boys is very good. It's a good movie. I recognize your points, Terrence. I don't think they're invalid. I think they're
talking about it was better than watching it. To be honest with you,
I mean, look, it's not
going
easy.
Over the movie was, to me, was better than watching it. For me, honestly.
Yeah, and look, it's not an easy movie to just be like, let's turn this on, like no big deal. Like, I'll fold a little bit of laundry, watch Nickel Boys. Nah, fuck that. Like, that's not what's going to happen. You're going to get sad. So, that being said, I can guarantee you the next movie will not make you feel that way. Anger might be one of them. General disgust, perhaps. But
yeah, I mean, look, not every episode can be the next episode, right? So we gotta have, I appreciate movies like this because, like, I know people say, "Oh, I'm tired of like slave narratives and stuff like that," but like, this isn't a slave narrative, and two,
slave adjacent.
It's what we know, right? And we need to have stuff like this. Lord knows you niggas don't read, so we need to have movies like this. We need to have conversations like this, and there's nothing wrong with it. I like Terrence said, I think I like talking about it with my friends more than and trying to have an educated conversation about it more than the act of sitting down and watching the sadness hit me in the face. But yeah, I had fun, and we'll have a different kind of fun in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Look, it takes all kinds. Like, there's a movie apparently on Tubi called, I swear to God, I'm not making this up, it's called The Grinch That Stole Bitches. It's real. It's a real movie. So not that that's the movie we're doing in 2 weeks. I guarantee you it's not. But it takes all kinds. And look, I think it's important to talk about films like this as well. So I can't believe I'm mentioning that movie in the same breath as Nickel Boys, but sure. But look, man, it takes all kinds. All right, that is it for us for episode 278. We will be back next week for a preview episode for episode 279. Later, guys.
See ya.
Take it easy.
Bye. You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of Black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the Black community.